first of all, my, I guess, most important message about the whole presentation, it's what I always say, it's like, you don't need to worry about anything, because if you can control the situation, you don't need to worry, and if you can't, you shouldn't worry either. So Benjamin Rohé, I'm an entrepreneur since I'm 17, so that's 13 years now. I'm an angel investor meanwhile. I'm a lecturer at various universities in Germany and Scandinavia. I'm born in 1981, and I worked in the digital industry since I was 15, when a friend of mine came up to me and asked me if I can develop their websites. They were an advertising agency, and they didn't have any competences in the new media space. So a little bit about me. I'm a huge soccer fan, so whenever you guys want to talk about soccer, especially about a team from Kaiserslautern, that's my hometown where I'm born, you get this with you when you get born. You cannot be a soccer fan when you're born there. I started very early, as I mentioned. With 17, I started my first company, but I started already with 9 to code. Learned how to code myself on a computer, because I was just curious how this whole thing works and if I can modify things, if I can work around some things. So that's what I did when I was 9. I always tried to manage chaos, and it's up to date. Even in the best finance startup, it works like that for me. That you always end up in a huge mess. This was actually about to become a public company. Our main office where 7 people used to work. We always tried to use what we actually had. So this was our server farm, which we put together out of old computers. And back then we were a highly profitable internet startup in the year 2000, where we were about to go public in 2001. Which actually never happened. It's always important as well to spend a lot of time out with your friends to keep your social relationships up and going. And I made some of the most amazing deals on nights out like these. That works as well. You should always combine fun and work from my perspective. And I also failed a lot of times trying to do new things, because I'm really into innovation and really into new kind of businesses. And that's pretty obvious that when you're trying to innovate things, that you're going to fail a lot. But failure is for me a fun and an instant lesson. That's what failure stands for me. And I'm trying to treat it as such. Whenever I fail on something, I try to take a lesson, the most important lessons out of it. And failure is much more important than success, because if you're going to be successful for the rest of your life, it means only to me that you never really tried hard enough. Because if you never try hard enough, you're obviously never going to fail. But failure is a really strong contributor to your development in life. And also big ideas do fail. I mean, look at the recent innovations of Google with their Google Wave product, with Orkut, with their what was their social network. When you look at Choose, there are plenty of big ideas they're trying to disrupt through a new innovation, existing models. But the most important thing I think you need to take away is the secret formula behind failure. And we love to call that the return on failure instead of the return of investment. So what does the return on failure actually mean? The return on failure is basically the people you get to know, the technology you learn, the products that you develop. If that's more than the time and the money that you lost on it, it's a profit. You gained significant profit. Not in a monetary way, not in any kind of wealthy way, but you do get a return on that failure. And if you think about failure that way, you will be much more keen to take risk, and instead of fearing every single time to fail. As I said before, if you're not trying hard enough, you're never going to fail. So Some lessons that I have learned along the way. I closed down, I think, 3 companies. I started overall roughly 10. I'm not sure if it's more or less. Share the ideas. It's really, really important. Every now and then I'm sitting together with entrepreneurs. Yeah, I have this thing, but I cannot talk about it right now. And this is really this is terrifying me, because it's so crazy. If you go out, you get so much feedback of people, and it makes it so easier to get started and learn very quick. Finding USP for yourself and also for your product. For yourself means I'm always teaching my students that they should not work on their bad sides. They should always work and only work on their good sides, because enhance what you are very competitive in is the strong thing here, not to try to be perfect. And that's never going to work. And the same thing goes also for your product. And fail fast, fail cheap means the thing I just mentioned, going out, taking feedback of people and trying to develop your product. And it's basically you, with your knowledge and with your attitude towards the business, who's going to make the difference to your competition. Instead of running after others, they need to run after you. And if you're the one who's most committed of everyone, you're going to win the game. So that's basically my presentation on a quick version of it. And the whole version you can also find on Vimeo, which the Stockholm School of Entrepreneurship has put up. It's around 30 minutes with all the slides. Thank you.